Hello everyone. So let's start with our today's topic. Today we will be discussing about how is federalism practiced. So constitutional provisions are very necessary for the success of federalism. But only constitutional provisions are not sufficient. So if the federal experiment has succeeded in India, it is not only because of the laying down of the constitutional provisions. There are other factors also for the success of federalism in India. Now, the real success of federalism in India, basically, here we are talking about, can be also attributed to the nature of the democratic politics in our country. Now, constitutional provisions with the democratic politics in our country are the real reasons for success of federalism in our country. Now, they actually ensure the spirit of federalism, respect for diverse population, and also desire for living together, maintaining unity in the country, and also it became the shared ideals in our country. Now, we'll be looking at major ways in which all this actually happened. So, firstly, we'll be talking about linguistic states. So there was this creation of linguistic state, and it was the first and a very important and a major test for the democratic politics in our country. So if you look at the political map of India, as you all know that India became independent in 1947 and it started its journey of democracy in 1947. And if we talk about that of 2019, you will be very surprised by the extent of changes you will see in the Indian political map. So many of the old states have vanished from there, from the map of India, and many new states have been created, which you can see. Now, the areas, the boundaries, the names of the states, there have been various changes which you can clearly compare from the political map of India. Now, in 1947, if you talk about, there were the boundaries of several old states of India that actually have changed in order to create new states. Now, it was also done so that people who spoke same language can live together in the same state. So, some states, if we talk about, were created not on the basis of the language but only to recognize the different culture, the differences in culture, ethnicity, or geography. And if we talk about the examples of such states, these are Nagaland, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. Now, when the demand for the formation of states on the basis of language was raised, so there was this demand that was raised that there should be formation of states on the basis of the language where the people should live who spoke same language. Now, on this issue, some of the national leaders, they feared that it would lead to the disintegration of the country. It would divide the country on the basis of the language if the states were formed. Now, what happened was the central government resisted the linguistic states for some time. उन्होंने agree किया, but the experience had shown that because of the formation of the linguistic state, it had actually made the country more united. So the result was very beautiful of the making of the linguistic states, because the experience shows that due to the making of the linguistic states, it had made the country more united. Now, it has also made the administration much easier. Now, let's move forward and talk about the language policy. This was the second test for the India's federation, that was the language policy. So, which language should be considered as the national language was a big question. Now, our constitution does not give the status of national language to any one language. So, our constitution, because our population is so diverse, and people here living in India, the citizens of India, speak different types of languages. So, our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. Hindi, if we talk about, was identified as the official language. But Hindi, if we talk about, is mother tongue of only about 40% of the Indians. So there were many safeguards to protect other languages. So besides Hindi, if we talk about, there were 21 other languages that were recognized as scheduled languages by the constitution. So if for example a candidate in an examination that is being conducted by the central government for any positions, that person, that candidate who is giving that exam may opt to do the examination or to attempt the examination in any of these languages that are being recognized as scheduled languages by the constitution. Now, the states too have their own official languages. As we have different states, they have their own official languages. So, much of the government work that takes place is taking place in the official language of that concerned state. So, for example, in Maharashtra, Marathi is used for the official work. So unlike Sri Lanka, the leaders of our country, they adopted very cautious attitude in spreading and the use of Hindi, because according to the constitution, the use of English for the official purposes was to stop in 1965. So many of the non-Hindi speaking states, they demanded that they wanted to continue the use of English. Now, in Tamil Nadu, let's say take an example of Tamil Nadu, this movement took a violent form, and the central government responded to it by agreeing to continue the use of English along with Hindi for the official purposes. But this decision, according to many critics, they think that this solution has favored the English speaking elites. If we talk about the promotion of Hindi, is a very important official policy of the government of India. Now, promotion does not mean that the central government is favoring Hindi over other languages or the central government is giving more importance to Hindi. Central government can impose Hindi on states where people speak different language. Now, this flexibility is shown by the Indian political leaders, and it has helped our country to avoid the kind of situation that Sri Lanka finds itself in. So there was the adoption of different languages as scheduled languages, and our constitution not giving any one language the status of national language has actually helped in safeguarding the unity of the country by maintaining a balance between the diverse population of our country. And also because of that, we have not faced a situation that Sri Lanka has faced. So children, that's all for today. We'll come back with the next part. Thank you so much.